feet low at that dark spot. Oh, go ahead, empty.
Ha! Oh, special. Silver rounds. They're made of silver. Peppy for 115s, man. Ah, I did it anyway. Alright, I had to download this because it's my home defense weapon presently. Although I come back from a brief vacation somewhere, seeing this new girl. Anyways, the light's dead. And I mean dead. One of the welds came loose. And you're gonna say, that's the gun. No, it's the light. I changed the batteries 3 times. And she's dead. Very sad way to start this video because I love this light. It matches the gun, very aesthetically pleasing. And I'm gonna send it to Surefire, so we're gonna get to see how their warranty program is. However, in their warranty it says, we have the ability to replace your old ass light with a new ass light. So it's entirely possible I send that in and get back a X300 UB, either black and 600 lumens or 1000 lumens. But I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. All right, what are we here for? If you don't read descriptions and just click on the videos, we're gonna do a once over the 4,000 round update. I thought we were at 3,500, turns out we're at 4,000 rounds. I shoot this thing all the time. In fact, I'm about to replace the recoil spring assembly. I'm pretty sure it's 15,000 rounds or 10,000 or something like that. However, I'm not the original owner on this and I have no idea how many rounds they fired. Probably not a lot. Let me take this off. Okay, first things first, the light rail. The light rail has gotten some love. There's a little bit, ever so slight, bit of deformation in the rail. Deformation? Deformation? one of those, and some discoloring where the Surefire light bites in, and not so bad on this side, but this side's pretty rough. Also, I have a nice holster line in the slide, so you can see that. It's actually not as visible as you'd think it is. The camera's actually picking it up with the light, and that's when you see it, is when you're in the sunlight and rotate the gun around. It's not as shiny as it appears. So I do expect this to get down to bare metal at some point, but we shall see. Break it down. So internally, we have some finish wear on the top of the rails, and in here a little bit. Same on the other side. Also, we have some discoloration here, and the red is from the paint on the magazines that I do, and it wears off. But all in all, finish looks pretty good, especially for all the years I've used it. All right, internally, just that shiny part there, which is about as much as it fights the barrel, the initial lockup. But this is a very smooth action, so it doesn't really do much. Have some discoloration here, and that's about it. Slide's holding up very, very well. Very impressed. It's a little bit there as well. Not sure what that's from. But even the rails look good. So overall, slide's holding up pretty good. Very, very happy with it. And the barrel looks pretty good except for right there on the bottom. It's lost some finish. I think that's actually from me reassembling it. I'm not sure that's from when it's being fired. So the constant like scraping it in to get it in the slide, I think that's what that's from. And then there's a little bit of wear there. However, overall, this barrel looks really, really good. And I credit that to the new finishes SIG is using. Sorry, I missed a spot right here. I know someone will call me out if I say that it's all good and there's no wear. There's wear on both sides of that. And finally, your recoil spring assembly looks good. So guide rod and the recoil spring are both perfectly fine, still springy. Not much going on, honestly. So for 4,000 rounds that I've touched off, and I always estimate a used gun to be about 500 rounds, unless it's been really, really beat, like my tan USP 45 is an excellent example. The finish on the magazines wears faster than anything else, so keep an eye out for that. And they wear in about the same spot. This is a newer magazine, this 20 rounder, and you know, same spots. No biggie. All right, she's back together. So overall, very, very happy with this thing. And I shoot it probably the most. The two guns I take to the range the most often are my P30L and this gun. The P30L is still probably about 300 to 500 rounds ahead of the Legion. It is holding up better, though the finish overall is starting to gray just slightly, like it's come up a couple hues in the color of black it is. But the SIG is still my go-to pistol. It's my favorite 9mm. If you told me I could only have one 9mm, this would be it, and it wouldn't even be a question. I really love this gun, and it's definitely cemented itself for me, both in its performance capabilities and just the things I can do with it. There's been many times as I've opened the video that I draw the pistol out of the holster and smack a target at 100 yards with defensive ammo. It's not just ball rounds. I will also say that despite this having the lighter recoil spring assembly, it's very, very smooth. So my initial impressions, the review, all that stuff, everything has held up for this gun. I have zero complaints. The texture in the G10 still bites. It's not as sharp as it was when I first purchased it. And the trigger has gotten a little smoother, especially in single action. And I'm not having the decocker issue that I had with my, there's like a small bit of discoloration there, but my Mark 25, I had a dent there from this. So even with the small issues I run into where I make contact with this when I'm gripping the hell out of it and driving it, and this is about where I put my thumb, even though I do that and the slide doesn't lock back all the time, this is still my preferred 9mm. I'm still shaking out other guns for the other 2 slots. I'm thinking the P30L is going to be my number 2 in my 9mm triad, but by and large, this gun is very, very solid. I'm very, very happy with it, and it's never let me down. It's always able to recover a bad day for me. So if I'm having a poor day shooting, all I do is load this thing up, and even if I'm tired or not driving it properly or whatever, it's easier to shoot. So very, very good gun. I don't have to think about drawing it. I don't have to think about presenting it, and I don't have to think about pressing shots. It just happens. So the trigger's definitely still good enough to throw some shots if you're not paying attention, and it will punish you for those mistakes. However, the recoil mitigation due to the weight and the weight with the Surefire, as well as the capacity options between the, even with 15 rounds I feel good with it, but I run 18 rounders in my D3, and I'm starting to like these 20 rounders. Normally when it's on my nightstand, it's got 21 rounds in it and a functional light, but since the light's not holding up, not too excited. Also, before I forget, the SIG Light night sights are holding up just fine. I have no problems with them. I know some guys had some finish issues with these initially, and I get a lot of questions about how this thing's holding up, and I know it's oily because I just took it out, so I just cleaned it. But this thing's holding up really, really well, and I run it in a very aggressive Kydex holster all the time. This is the holster, and it's very, very, very tight, and that's exactly what's causing this here, this wear. So with this aggressive Kydex holster, who I have no idea who made, it's still holding up. So very, very pleased with this gun, and I'm going to continue to run it. Going to do some spring refreshes at approximately 5,000 rounds, just for the recoil spring, and then I'll see what else needs it. Everything else feels real sharp though, so definitely highly recommend the P226, but the SIG Legion in general. The 226 is a great gun. It's my favorite offering from SIG. Every time I fire this, it validates the legacy that the P226 has. It's never let me down. Anytime I let somebody shoot this, they have a smile on their face like I do when I shoot it, and it's very, very confidence inspiring to have this pistol. So I'm going to send the light off to get repaired. I'm going to put another one on there in the meantime because I need it, and we'll go from there. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take care out there.